Hello.
Yeah, hi.
I'm Stephen.
And I'm Tilde.
And we are the Ori Mill.
Yes.
Sounds like we're a magic act. And we are the Great Soprendos. That's what they used to say. I don't know if you know this, but that's what they used to say. Saturday night television. And it was like, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have Tilde and Stephen. Together they are the magic mushrooms. Or something.
Yeah, well, no, I don't really.
Well, you didn't watch television?
No.
As a child?
No, we didn't really have one.
Didn't have a television?
Oh, I think we had one, and I think it was a black and white and tiny one.
Oh my goodness, right.
And I was only allowed to watch television in December.
Why?
Because it was the Advent calendar.
So when did you start watching television properly?
Oh, I can't remember.
I mean, this is kind of ridiculous. I think I need to talk to your mum about this.
Well, it was kind of, television wasn't looked upon kindly by the school I went to.
Okay, Steiner School.
Yes.
Which is why you're so good at knitting.
Well.
Possibly.
Well, I could knit before I went to school.
Right, I know, but Steiner School kind of helped with the creativity.
Yes, with the creativity. Certainly.
Right, sorry, we're on a total tangent.
Yeah.
Am I looking at the camera, do you think, right now?
No. I don't really know. It's there's a lot of cameras up there.
Yeah, we can't really work it out. Sorry, so if we're not addressing you watching this, apologies. We are addressing you. So, I'm learning to knit, you're teaching me how to knit. It's going okay. I'm currently making this beanie. Those of you who do knit already will see this is ribbed. It's 2 knit, 2 purl. I've got 2 colours. So I feel quite proud of that. I would like to move on to a garment, and I was asking Tilde about, I do find the magic mushrooms, the magic of patterns is kind of impenetrable. I don't really know what's going on. And you said, actually, let's start with the ball band.
Yes.
So let's not even talk about patterns.
Not right now. No.
Let's just talk about ball bands.
Yeah, because there is a lot of information on this ball band.
Ball bands?
That can be very useful.
Okay, let's talk about ball bands.
Okay, do you want to? So I've taken this one.
Right, so this is so if you've watched our previous video, we're now getting good at this. This is not chunky, this is super chunky.
Yeah, very treat.
Lots of people could be described also as super Are you chunky or super chunky? What?
Oh, for God's sake.
Are you chunky?
Yes.
No, you're cuddly.
Oh. Well,
right, so let's look at this. This is
you need
inappropriate chat about being chunky. I like chunky. And I like super chunky as well, so in the light, this is good. So the ball band, let's switch to the overhead camera and see what's the ball band saying. So, going to zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
And focus a little bit.
Yeah, so I've taken actually that one just because it's nice and big and you can really see the information. So.
And this is got good quality, 100% blue-faced Kerry Hill.
Yeah, so that's basically, the ball band will give you what the product is, so what is actually
the brand is. What is Roving? We've talked about this before.
Roving is kind of
it's not ply.
It's not plied.
It's not folded.
No, it's just slightly spun. So you can actually really
because roving might refer to, there's the stuff over there, can you grab that? Because roving might refer just to completely not spun at all.
Yeah.
I think this is quite interesting, actually.
Some lying in a bag here, so this is just roving.
Yeah, that's interesting, that's roving. So it's almost completely not spun.
It's really.
And you could use that for felting.
Yes, or spinning actually.
Or spinning, and you can spin your own, and we should do a video on that. Got so much videos to do.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said God, I mean, wow. Sorry.
Yeah, so anyway, you get a lot of information. Obviously here you get the...
And you're saying that this is almost always the same?
Yes.
It's always the brand?
You get the
information
weight
about the weight, okay.
If there isn't the information about the weight, you might get a clue in all these wee symbols you see here.
And this is the bit that I don't quite understand what we're looking at here. So this is giving us more information.
Yeah.
I think we should also point out it's 100% wool, by the way.
This is it, yeah.
British wool.
It is British wool, and they really have that wee stamp there.
This is quite interesting, because a lot of wool, cashmere, etc., doesn't necessarily come from Britain, because cashmere, as we talked about in previous videos, comes from, goats and sheep on Mongolia, really high up, really super cold, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So British wool, obviously we are not a super warm country, but we are quite mild and wet.
But there's also breeds that has been brought in.
Breeds that have been brought in. So yeah, but British wool just means
This is wool
reared.
that comes from Britain.
sheared and reared here.
Yeah. It also means, remember, we have Falkland Island wool.
Have Falkland Island wool, that's also British. Very important for some people.
Yeah, but it is
You
classified.
don't know about this. You don't know about the Falklands War, do you? Because you're Danish.
Yeah, I don't know. We
don't know?
didn't know.
It's quite a big deal. It's quite a big deal. Margaret Thatcher and her finest hour and all that. A very contentious issue. It's interesting because in my work there's two Argentinians. So Argentina, Falkland Islands is actually kind of much closer to Argentina.
Yes.
Anyway, let's cut off the politics.
Yeah.
We're not about politics here.
Yes. So, anyway, what you get the information here is you can see it's 100% blue-faced Kerry Hill. So that is
Nice.
the sheep breed.
Right.
It says super chunky roving,
Which we talked about.
which is the weight
The
we're
weight.
referring to.
Yeah.
You get how
That's
many
not really
grams.
hold on, it's not really in focus.
Yeah, so you get how many grams it is in the ball. They actually just kind of put down on that because yes, you're seeing 100% blue-faced Kerry Hill, so they also indeed do need to put in that it's wool we're talking about. You get how many meters is in this and how many yards.
Yeah.
And that's quite important. So if you were to kind of replace a yarn from a pattern to a different yarn, because the patterns will always is often kind of designed with one yarn in mind. If you're replacing that one, you need to look at how many meters was there in the original ball.
Yeah, so we're
and
going
then
to
you
talk
can-
about this again because we're going to replace a wool
Yes.
for another wool, and we have to work out, are we going to get the same length of yarn, same weight,
Yeah,
or
well-
equivalent weight, and what do we have to do to adjust the pattern?
Yeah.
So that's quite advanced. This is just
Yeah, but
so
it's
BALLBAND.
very, very important.
It
though,
is
that
super important.
If you're knitting a baby
Let
garment.
me use my pointer.
Yeah, I found that earlier today.
Why is this here? What is this?
Why?
What was this for? Are you
What
planning
is-
to find some vampires?
What is that?
It's a vampire steak.
Or a giant knitting needle.
Oh, and the giant knitting needle. Okay. Right. So I don't understand. Let's go into this because you're talking about the BALLBAND
Yeah.
gives you information to make something, and I'm like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
How to do
but
that?
also, we've not
There's
actually
nothing to
covered.
make here.
We've not actually covered the whole thing.
Oh,
in
okay.
BALLBAND.
Sorry. Right.
So, I'll get to that last. By the way, you then have your washing instructions. So
right.
you can see
do
this
not
one.
tumble dry.
Yes, this is a wool roving, so it does need hand wash.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to shrink it.
Right.
Then we get into the bits we can use for actually making up, let's say, a simple scarf or a simple blanket, baby blanket, or a big blanket.
So you're not explaining this to me. To make
So-
up, this is a square.
This is
it says
it. This is-
tension.
So here we have a tension, and here we have, you got your needle.
The needle size.
And you also got a hook. Often you just see the needle size. You don't always see that hook.
That's for
sign.
crochet.
Yeah, but they are suggesting that you use a 10mm needles.
What's the next one down? US 15.
US 15. So they're just doing it in metrics and in US sizes.
Okay.
Then you get into your tension, and that is the tension is at 9 stitches gives you about 10 centimeters. Using the
Okay. So hold on. What is it? A 10 mil? Is that a 10 mil?
No,
Is that a 10 mil?
no.
What is that?
What that is a 4mm,
Oh, okay. See, I'm getting good at knowing things.
and that one there is a 6mm. A 10mm is much bigger.
So
Oh, no, sorry, that's 5.5.
if I knitted up, if I cast on with that
Yeah.
super chunky,
It won't really work.
it won't really work. It's just it'd be too difficult to knit with.
It's because the needle is simply too small.
Okay, can we get a 10 mil to see it?
Yep.
And we're back by the power of television. Okay, 10 mil. There we go. Oops, upside down. Right, out of focus. 10 mil. Nice aluminium, shiny. What are these? Knit Pro? No. Yeah.
Yes, they're Knit Pro. They're the Knit Pro Sings.
Right, so these are great. Cool. So I would need something like that. So what you're saying is, if I cast on I can't hold it steady, I don't know why. Cast on, what am I saying? 9 stitches.
And knit 14 rows.
It would be, on knit 9 stitches would be 10 centimetres.
Yes. So that's
symmetrical.
9 stitches and 14 rows in stocking stitch, which is your...
What's stocking stitch?
Stocking stitch is knit a row, purl a row, knit a row, purl a row.
Why does it say that, so you know?
That is the general...
It's just generally accepted information?
Yeah, that's something you need to know.
So it's not on the ball band, it's just something you need to know?
That's something you need to know, yeah.
Somebody that I used to know. That's a song, if you didn't know. Right. I don't know if this is helpful, but I just don't understand what you're talking about.
So if you cast on 9 stitches on a 10mm knitting needle,
Yeah.
you should get a fabric that measures 10 centimetre wide.
A fabric square.
Yeah.
And that's what they're referring to in this square here.
Yes.
That's really good. That's really interesting. So basically what you're saying is, if I wanted to knit a scarf up,
Yeah.
I could probably take my tape measure and go, well, I really want the scarf thickness to be 20, it would be fairly reasonable.
Yeah, it's 20. If you
Or
wanted
maybe
20,
even more
if you
for a
wanted,
Doctor Who scarf. Again, very British thing that. But you
Yeah.
don't get what that means.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do know what a Doctor Who scarf
yes,
is?
Yes, I do know what.
How do you know what a Doctor Who scarf is?
Because I've been asked about it in the knitting shop.
Ah, that's different. You haven't actually seen old
No,
Doctor Who.
I have actually
where
seen it.
he wore a ridiculous scarf.
I know I have.
But yeah, so if I wanted, but the point is, if I wanted to knit a scarf, and it could either be a fine gentleman's scarf, or it could be a huge big Doctor Who scarf, I would take this without a pattern.
Yes, without a pattern. I would also not knit it in stocking stitch.
Right.
Because if stocking stitch is just knitted up, it curls in. So you need
Well,
to...
okay, so here's the thing.
But that's something... I would knit it in garter stitch.
But then how big is it going to be in garter stitch?
Well, it's still going to be the 9 stitches wide. So we
Yep.
can still do that. You probably need a few more rows. So use more the width than actually the rows for if you're doing a blanket.
I mean, this
or
is where, when we're doing this hat, and we're talking about this hat fitting my head, we're kind of constantly measuring.
Yeah.
With our tape measure, and we need to have a soft tape measure so we can get, to really kind of, it's all about relative size, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what there's a bit of a feel going on here. It's not, so there is a science to it, and a logic.
Yeah.
But there's also a bit of a feel to what you're knitting.
Yeah.
Which
But
makes,
can I actually go back to, because you're
you
jumping.
can go back to it. I'm jumping.
You're jumping
Right,
away here
sorry.
because we had established here that 9 stitches gives us 10 centimetre wide. So you were
Yep.
talking about 30 centimetres. So basically, 27 stitches should give you that 30 centimetre scarf. In
Okay,
this
say that
wool.
again. So the 27 stitches.
Yes, because that's 3 times 9, because each 9 stitches is 10 centimetres.
If you do garter stitch.
Yeah,
If you do stocking stitch.
also garter stitch, because it's really the width. You could also do moss stitch.
Moss stitch. What's moss stitch?
Moss stitch is,
Purl over knit.
so knit, purl, and then you do purl over knit and knit over purl.
At your second row.
Yes.
So that the knit is over the purl and the purl's
Yeah.
over the knit.
And
I think we need to do videos about this. We need to demo this
Yeah.
because it's quite interesting.
But
to know
also, what's interesting with this, let's say the moss stitch, is that if you have an odd number of stitches, you know that you're always starting with a knit. So it's basically knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and then you're going over to, on the next row, it's the same knit, purl, knit, purl. So you will automatically, so you don't have to be able to read the stitches below. You just know that you're always going to start with a knit if you have.
No, okay, wait. I'm a bit lost now. I think you're going off on tangents here.
Okay, maybe. Anyway,
Let's come back to this. But broadly, what we're saying is this square references the size. I've got dirty nails. Sorry, everybody. I was working in the garden. We've got this square refers to what this wool thickness will give you a size of fabric.
Yeah.
Depending if it's using what stitch? Stocking stitch.
stocking stitch, yeah.
But garter stitch is not going to be that far off.
No.
Okay.
And moss stitch shouldn't be.
And moss
too
stitch
far.
either.
And again, if it's a scarf or a blanket or something, just buy an extra ball.
So you've knitted up blankets and scarves without patterns, really, just because you
Yeah.
know the size that you're roughly going to get.
Yeah.
So let's have an example. You've got something nice here.
So I got this wee
Oops.
Neapolitan kind of baby
Yeah, it's
blanket.
lovely colour. That is absolutely Neapolitan.
Yeah.
That's a very nice colour. So what wool is this?
So this is the Roving cotton wool I've done.
Yeah, that's nice knitted up, actually.
Yeah,
It feels
and-
very good. This is 50%. This is organic merino and organic cotton.
Yeah. So it's basically a
60-40, right?
So a ball of each colour,
Yeah.
and I cast on using my information I found on the BALLBAND.
This is wonder if we can get this. This is quite difficult. Hello.
Yes, it's these ones.
Very small. Sorry.
It's quite small here, so
So what you can, I mean, I can't even see that.
It's
I have to use my
20
glasses to see that. So
it's 20 stitches for 10 centimetres.
interesting. So the big super chunky was 9 stitches for 10 centimeters. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
much thicker. This is 20 stitches.
Yeah.
It gives you 10 centimeters.
Yeah, so that gave me an idea about, I wanted,
And how many
think it was
rows?
about
28 rows
yeah, so I wanted,
on 4mm needles.
Yeah.
You can see.
so again I wanted about 60 centimetre wide. So I cast on the
So you had a rough idea of what a baby blanket should be.
Yeah.
And is it knitting down the way? Is it, or what is it? Sorry.
Oh, you just, this is your,
How's this coming off the
this
needles?
is actually your cast off edge.
You're not showing it.
Sorry, this is the cast off edge. So that was, I started down here. I can see this is my cast on edge.
How can you see that?
I can see the cast off edge. You can almost see like wee loops.
Right, hold on. This is
wee
now getting a
stitches.
wee bit technical. How do you see it?
At the edge, right at the edge.
You're not really showing it.
Yeah, but right at the edge there, you can see stitches there. You need to really kind of, I can actually see my stitches. You can see the VVs here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and on this edge here, it's not, it's, even though they look maybe like V's, I can see they're not as,
No, they're not.
I can see the difference between
What are
them.
they?
It's your cast on.
Oh, it's not. It's just the one round the needle, and then
Yeah,
your first row would be. What is it? A knit row.
everything, every row in this one is a knit row.
Oh, this is a whole knit row.
This is
and
this is garter stitch.
This is garter stitches, just all knit rows.
Yeah,
And that's what the Baltic Beanie beginner. But so your first, if you as a beginner, you would be casting on, working out what kind of size you want
Yeah.
it to be, and then you're going to knit stitch, and that gives you. If you keep doing knit stitch, that's garter stitch.
yeah.
Amazing. Right. What? Anything else before we go then?
So I think, so again, yes, you can do
So you didn't have a pattern for this?
No.
You just thought, I'm going to take what is that? Is that a ball there? No.
yes, that's a ball. So
This one stripe's a ball.
yeah. So I needed a project that I could show in the shop for people who,
In your classes, you mean?
yeah, in the classes in the shop, that if you
Hi-
just got 4 balls of wool,
In your stash. Here's a
well,
blanket.
here is a blanket, you just cast on 120 stitches, used 4mm needles, and you'll get a really nice baby blanket.
Yeah, it's very
and
nice.
you
It's
don't
very-
have to really have knitted for very long to be able to
No.
do this one.
I mean,
So-
but okay. So next thing, one question on a tangent: what kind of time would this take?
Oh, it really is, because you can't really, I cannot use my own timing because I am,
So what did it take you?
it took me like 4 nights,
4 nights, a couple of hours.
so
So it might take somebody else a couple of weeks.
yeah. So
Good.
I think it's, yeah, I did probably 10 hours max, and someone else would take 20-25 hours, maybe
Okay.
more.
And great. So I'm kind of getting this ball band. So what else could we do then? Have you anything else to show us?
Well, we
You weren't
have,
going to show this, were you?
I had this one here, which was the Suma
So why is
blanket.
this relevant to what we've been talking
Well,
about?
it's actually just taking that information from the BALLBAND, but then they have used striped in. So this is again a super beginner one. you'll find that this is just knitting, and they have just striped it up.
Have we still got this on the website?
Yeah.
So
it's a free download.
all right, so we'll link to that. We're going to do more links. Look out for the links, people.
Yeah.
We're going to do more links. So this is basically all about having the wool, but I'm saying, okay, I can do a blanket and a cushion, I can do a blanket only, or I can do a cushion only.
Yeah.
That's what I need. And then it tells me kind of what you're saying the ball band's telling you, which is...
Yeah, so the ball band is actually over here. They've been very helpful of...
Oh, there it's there. That's what we were talking about.
That's exactly the same ball band, like...
Is this one?
As this one here, yeah.
Yeah, because zooming in and out, working in television is hard, isn't it?
Well, you will know. You did that earlier.
Well, I was a sound guy. I wasn't the camera guy. No. Right, so that's interesting. It's the same information.
Yeah.
And the reason they're giving that information is because then you can see how, basically the size of it and what you're going to need. I like this tension sewing notes finishing. And then they've even got videos like ours, but ours are probably better, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Sorry, WIS, but they are. Maybe they're not. They're all the same. It's all good. We love everyone in the knitting community. Right, abbreviations is also interesting. And we should talk about this in our pattern video, shouldn't we?
Yes, we should really talk about that. We can maybe come back to that pattern in the pattern video.
So in terms of ball bands, is that everything?
Yeah, I would say that. But yeah, use the ball band to make yourself a scarf and use different stitches. Practice some stitches.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key things. I think we just need to do that tension square thing. I've got lots of leftover wool here in the chunky, not super chunky. And we should probably try this knit and purl. What gives you this garter stocking moss stitch idea, and then because I've never really tried any of that.
And also, another thing, just a kind of final note here, really is that if you wanted to do something from a ball band and wanted just to grab one ball of wool, a ball of the organic cotton that we have in the shop will do you a dishcloth. So you can actually just cast
what
on.
I've always wanted, a dishcloth.
Yeah, they're actually so much better than the ones you can...
No, they are. The ones you've made for the house are good and we use them all the time and the kids use them all the time.
Because they're also much more absorbent than the ones you can buy from shops.
I mean, yeah, but you can buy cheap ones in the shop. I mean,
yeah, but
these are nice. You got to really love your...
Oh, I hate the ones from the shops. I can't touch them.
Okay, Tilda hates dish towels from the shop.
Dishcloths?
Right. Even that too. Join us next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.